Welcome back to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people where we talk about critical issues in the blindness community. I'm Aaron Richmond. Tonight, like all other episodes, is copywritten by me, Aaron Richmond, and Aaron's Opinion. This podcast can be found on YouTube, where so many of you love to watch us, along with iTunes or really anywhere else you would want to get a podcast. By the way, please consider following my page on Facebook, consider following me on Twitter, and even consider becoming a patron on my Patreon page. We want to thank everybody around the world who's listening. And if you would like, and since tonight's episode, guys, is going to be probably kind of, I can already tell, not for the faint of heart. So I'm just going to tell you right now, this is a very serious episode. If you want to get in touch with me after the show about the show, aaronsopinion6@gmail.com. Also, you can call the show's phone number. Don't worry, don't get too excited. It's not my real number. 1-240-681-9869. Thank you so much. Makayla Fettner, you are on Aaron's Opinion. I'm going to mute my microphone. I'm going to mute my microphone. Go for it. You have a serious story. Talk, and talk. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name's Makayla. I'm legally blind. I'm going to start off with the fact that I've been blind since birth. I had a syndrome that not a lot of people really know about. It's called Franz or Frenz syndrome. I never really learned the proper, way to say it. Basically, I was born mostly with either a hole or without a diaphragm. And when I was 4 days old, I had to have my diaphragm pretty much built for me. Because I literally died in the hospital twice. I'm going to say that it was a roller coaster. I've been called a miracle child by my family they call me the miracle baby, just because I had so many complications as a child and growing up, and just when I was born, they did not expect me to live past, 2 weeks to 2 months. So they discharged my mom straight from the hospital when she had me to go be with me in case something happened. Here I am 24 years later and going strong. Now, before I really get into the topic, I'm just saying this so you guys can understand, my disability and know why I made the choices I wanted to make in the end of it all and what the outcomes became. I have vision in my right eye. I can actually see pretty well, pretty much like everybody else, except for a small print is really what gets me. And if things are further away, they get harder to see. But a few months ago, I made the choice to do something that I really wanted to see if it could benefit me. For almost an entire half of a year, I kept hearing this commercial about LASIK surgery and the fact that it could probably help someone like me. Well, I don't even know. Just anybody. It's just a surgery. It's a laser eye surgery that they can do. And from what I was told, they just basically create a flap in your cornea, and it's supposed to help you see. But back in September, I had just gotten into my apartment, and my mom came down with my sister and their 2 dogs and stayed for a little bit. And I was talking to my mom. I said, Mom, can you please possibly take me to the clinic that was nearby? I'm not going to say where I'm from, but the clinic that I was nearby, we had to take maybe a 2.5-hour drive to it to have it done. I just wanted to go in for a free consultation and see what the doctors could say to see if, LASIK could benefit me. So I made all the phone calls. I was told, oh yeah, you're legally blind. We should be able to help you with one of our surgeries. There should be something out there for you. And then when I called this last time that I called to schedule the consultation, I talked to a man. He was really nice at first and everything and helped me out. We had complications with my account that I created online. I had actually filled it out for a consultation online to schedule and then go up there. But we resolved the issue and got it worked out. But the only thing is, I told the man that I had a disability and that I was legally blind, and I wanted to see if the surgery could benefit me. That's why I wanted the consultation. The man's literal response was, "Oh no, you're diseased. You have a disability. We can't help you. It's medical, blah, blah, blah." And I kid you not, hearing that really upset me and frustrated me for the simple fact that for many years, I did not want to actually consider any surgeries. I did not want to mess around with my sight and possibly lose what I have in my good eye. And, I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to that and understand that. If you're blind and visually impaired like me, you really don't want to take a risk because you don't want to lose what you do have. I mean, I cherish my sight. I cherish the sight that I have, and I wouldn't ask for it any other way. And to be honest, if I really think about it now, that experience, and even before, if someone asked me, like, okay, I'm gonna say right now I'm Christian. Um, if there was some miracle that God could give me my sight back, I really don't think I would take it because I've lived forever like this, and not that I wouldn't be grateful of the idea of having my sight back, but it's just like I've lived so long like this. Really, I wouldn't ask for it any other way. But the fact that I was considering LASIK, the fact that I really just sat down and thought, hey, this surgery may be something. I just thought maybe it was time in my life, being 24, to take that consideration into mind and literally consider the idea. And so I did. And I did all the things necessary to make sure I could set that up. And having this guy, he was still talking about it. Apparently, LASIK will not help somebody who was born at birth legally blind or visually impaired. And honestly, I don't understand why they don't. It it breaks my heart because if you've ever heard the LASIK commercial, I wish I could play it for you, but I don't have that specific commercial I heard. They don't say anywhere in that they can't help a blind or visually impaired person, which I believe they should have that as a disclaimer saying, look, we strive to help everyone, but we don't believe our, surgeries can help someone who is born blind or have a specific disability that can, you know, pretty much affects their eyes. Um, I wish they would say that because I had my hopes so happy and so high. And when I made that call, the guy was literally talking after he had told me this. And I told him, I said, well, a lady actually told me that I called last week that you guys could actually possibly do a surgery on someone like me and possibly benefit from it. Well, he just kept proceeding to say, no, you are disabled. You pretty much have a disease and we can't help you. We have to cancel, like literally, we have to cancel your consultation. And I found that really heartbreaking because there could have been a different approach to that. And I'm pretty sure Aaron would agree to that. There could have been a different approach to how you say that to a person. Like when you're someone like us who is blind and sorry about that. When you're someone like us who is like blind and visually impaired, you really, when you start thinking about possibly bettering your sight in any way, you really start to kind of, at least for me, I don't know if anybody else can relate. In a way, you get your hopes up. Um, you start to think maybe this is a possibility. Maybe I can do something to better my sight. Um, and just maybe there's some way it would actually benefit. So we start getting kind of our hopes up a little. And then when someone takes that approach that he did, that broke my heart. Um, didn't have to word it like that. You could have said it completely different. You could have said, look, I'm sorry, ma'am. Our surgeries cannot actually help people who are blind at birth and legally blind with a disability. They just won't benefit from it. They could have had a different approach. At least I feel. So pretty much for like that entire day, I felt down because as he was speaking, my mother was in the room when this happened and she could testify to it if she was here. I hung up on the man and I literally started crying because I just felt like I guess you could say I felt like I lost kind of all hope in a way. That was one surgery I was really wanting to consider doing, and I just felt like it was ripped away. Even a consultation felt like it was being ripped away from me. It was a free consultation. You didn't have to spend nothing. Your insurance didn't have to spend anything. So it was free. Like I couldn't even get that. That broke my heart. So hung up on him. I started crying. My mom was there. She saw me pretty much crying. She came over. She started crying because my mom, she has been there. She's been a supporter for me through my entire life with my disability and everything, and trying to help me actually learn to do things in the world and better myself. And she hates to see when something like that happens to me, just because she would probably want that benefit for me just as much as I would. Um, so pretty much that's what happened, and I just feel like even to this day I feel really upset that some people just do this to a legally blind person, or like that visually impaired and legally blind individuals do not get considered in some things in society, and then they start to, they I can't even. I could go into a full blown rant about just so many things that seem to be wrong with how we are all kind of treated in today's society. I hate it in some ways. Some people can actually be really, really nice. I have met some really kind hearted souls that have helped me along the way. I was actually homeless for 2 months back in July and August, and I went to Texas, and I was at a coffee shop getting coffee for a friend, and I had a kind person literally give me $40 for my troubles and just getting around. She paid for our coffees, no matter what they were. She said, "Get you anything." So there are kind-hearted souls out there. You just gotta find them. But Aaron, if you want to ask anything, I guess now, because that's really what happened, I can try to like answer anything else. Um, because I mean that's pretty much the situation. So I know it didn't take an hour, but if you want to ask anything to that or about
Sure.
my disability, go ahead.
Sure thing. Sure thing. Well, I completely understand and know that now that you're participating in this podcast, you're included on Aaron's Opinion forever. This is a forever thing. You're in the WhatsApp group. You're in my community of supporters and different interesting guests from all walks of life all over the world.
Hmm.
Second thing. Now let's really approach this from there's several different angles to approach it. Number one,
Hmm.
first of all, I am not a doctor. Number two,
Right.
the what I do know is that the eye, okay, is the eye is an amazingly sensitive organ, okay? And what I
Hmm.
mean by that, and guys, if you at home don't believe this, Google it, look it up. But anytime you perform any surgery on the eye, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter what the situation is, any touching of the eye, which by the way, if you're blind in the audience, which is why you should never touch your eye, the eye
Hmm.
is very, 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 very sensitive. And any tiny little thing creates immense trauma, okay? I was born with glaucoma. I've had
Oh, I have
seven.
that in my left eye, so I
Okay.
agree.
Okay, well, good. I have had 7 cornea transplants.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
now they were done when I was a baby,
Hmm.
and if they hadn't been, I wouldn't be able to see. Okay, it's a bit of a long story. The point is that, and I am only giving out my opinion. This
Hmm.
next sentence is not a fact. It is an opinion that I think that we as a society have not harnessed the full potential of LASIK and that technology. Do I think it's possible that that technology will be harnessed in our lifetime to be able to help some people? I hope so. The other thing you need to consider is that everybody's eyes are set up totally differently. So what could be done for one person's eyes definitely could not be done to the person next door. It's too, everybody's eyes are totally different. You can't even make comparisons between people's eyes. It's not even, number one, it's not even professional, it's not even ethical, and for another, it's not even really medically possible. The Everybody's eyes are totally different. So my next question is, and it's a silly question, but it helps to bring us kind of come full circle and really make the full point here. So did you ever end up getting the LASIK surgery?
Okay, well, before I answer that, I want to say something to what you said about your glaucoma. Um, I'm actually really happy that the glaucoma, I don't know if you had I'm guessing you had a transplant um, operation. I'm glad that it worked for you because I've had three, and I say three cornea transplants on my left eye.
Okay,
And
how old
not only that, I
how
have
old were
a
you?
glaucoma implant. I was a baby, I want to say. I was
Okay.
little. I had a lot of surgeries on my left eye. They never really did surgeries on the right because they didn't want to affect what I had. Now, when I was a baby, if you look at baby pictures of me, both of my eyes are open. And it's almost like you can see the pupil. In my right eye, you can't. It's kind of fogged over. But that's also because I didn't mention this in the beginning. My disability that I ended up getting from the Fron syndrome is a syndrome called microphthalmia. And microphthalmia is basically where your eyes are smaller than normal. Um, if you know anything about like the eyes, like you said, Aaron, when you're a baby, I don't know if you knew this. I found this out and I find it really interesting. When you're a baby, your eyes are actually fully grown. So the only thing left to grow is your body. So when you're a baby, the reason why you got those big old baby eyes, those little cute baby eyes that are big, is because your eyes are fully grown to what they're really going to grow when you get older. And that's why when you get older, your body fills out, you grow and adjusts. That's why they don't look so cute and baby like when you're older. But I think unlike you, Aaron, I had a glaucoma implant put in my left eye, which is basically a tube that they had to run into the eye to keep the pressure down. But sadly,
Okay,
unlike you, I did
that's what
not
they're doing
gain my
now.
sight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How old are you again, Makayla?
I'm 24.
Okay, you're significantly okay. This is very interesting.
Hmm.
You're 5 years younger than me, and it's significant because when I was a baby in the early '90s, they did surgeries where the point of the surgery was to drain the fluid from the back of the eye, but that surgery didn't really work then. So it seems
Hmm.
like by now they've developed technology that helps to keep the pressure down, which is good.
Hmm.
But a lot of times the other complication with a child or a baby, a very small baby, is that when you're that little, your body is able to heal very quickly, and that's both a blessing and a curse.
Right.
In which is it's very interesting to study this. If there are, I've never interviewed any doctors, but if there are any, or if any, this is a weird thing to say out loud, but if any ophthalmologists pick this episode up and want to comment below or want to make some comments, I accept your feedback. But basically, my point that I was making, and the question that you were in getting ready to answer is, and I need you to answer it before I say my next sentence. Did
Oh,
you
you are
ever
fine.
did
No,
you ever end up getting the LASIK surgery?
no, I actually never did get
Okay.
the surgery. I
Here's
never
why
tried to like go
here okay.
towards it again.
Okay, and that in my opinion that is a blessing in disguise.
I believe so. I mean, I
Because
agree with what you
because
said.
look, the fact is that if you have some severe eye problem like we have, everybody's eyes are different, but in general, LASIK is not an appropriate option.
Right.
In my opinion, that's my opinion about it. Would just do too much damage to the eye, and we have not fully harnessed the technology. It is used for people who need to have unusually good vision, professional athletes, professional golfers, pilots, people that really need to be able to use their vision in an unusually detail-oriented way, the surgery can be done, but it does not alleviate the side effects and the risk factors, and all of those things are my opinions too. So I understand, and I can understand that type of thing because that I'm sure that at some point in my life I was upset about, dealing with stuff like that, or wondering if there was a way to like fix my eyes. And what you come to agree with is if your eyes are healthy and you're able to see a little bit, that's as good as you can ever want. And you don't want to mess with it.
Exactly.
Unless the eye is damaged to the point where you aren't able to see anything, then it would make sense to
Right. I want to say something before you do
sure.
ask another question. I agree. Like I was trying to say, I agree with what you say, and even looking on it when it happened to me, the situation and what the guy said, and even just now. I mean, I know it's only been a few months since September, but I do agree with what he said, and I agree with what you say. It is a touching and very iffy subject, and everything. I think it's more or less, I wish the guy had had a better approach to what
Yeah.
he said,
Okay.
because the
Well,
way he says it
I
just makes it seem like,
understood. And I will tell you that people who work in those jobs, okay, nothing
mhm.
personal, okay, it's nothing personal, but that's kind of a not that great of a job, okay? So that
Right.
person probably did not want to be doing that job. I'm certainly not justifying the inappropriate behavior, but understand, I'm just trying to
Mhm.
clarify that those jobs in hospitals and offices, that is not a good job. So the person was probably frustrated. It doesn't make it okay, but I can understand where this would be, where they would say something like that, or feel like just out of frustration say something like that. And the other thing is, you don't know, maybe that staff, I mean, who knows? Maybe the staff needs to be trained at that practice. I don't know. That's not my place to say.
Mhm.
But
Right.
the fact is that I can understand from both angles of this, where I would have at the time, if I was younger, I probably would have gotten upset. Now I would just probably, as an older person, I'm able to just tune everybody out, which is what I do. I don't really listen to people, so I probably wouldn't have heard it. I probably wouldn't have been paying any attention, or would have just been in a day, just pretending to
Right.
daydream or something like that. I would have just ignored that. So sometimes, this is the stuff that I never listened to when I was 24, and this is the stuff that I don't listen to when people tell me to listen to it. So I'm telling you, I wish you would listen, but if you honestly don't, I completely understand. But sometimes you have to, and this is hard. You have to practice ignoring people. Sometimes you just have to practice filtering out certain things that people say, and staying
Yes,
focused
yes.
on the blessing that guy actually gave you. For all we know, he could have actually saved you from destroying your eyes by that
Exactly. I
by that
mean, I
by
look at
that
that like a
silly
blessing.
by that silly remark, by that ignorant and unprofessional and crass remark. His crassness and anger and frustration in dealing with someone with disability. You know what? That might have just saved you.
Mhm.
So maybe if you ever see him, you might want to say thank you for the advice. I don't know. I'm being sarcastic,
Right.
but who knows? Who knows? Weird little things happen. The other thing that you learn in entertainment, as I was telling you, I've been talking to a lot of interesting people, even people, in Hollywood, who are producers, who have written scripts and movies and things like that. The other thing that you have to do in life to be successful is you have to embrace the idea of being criticized and being prepared for someone to repel something that you say and not like it. And then you have to be
Right.
able to embody it and say, well, okay, but here's how I can help you anyway. So, when those types of things happen, I mean, that type of thing hasn't happened to me, but other things like it probably have. At this point,
Mhm.
I've just tuned out so much of it, I can probably tell you that I've forgotten it, which actually I probably haven't. But the truth is that you just need to know, and it's I'm not going to sit here, on this episode and say, Makayla, it's really easy and simple to know when to ignore people. Just grow up and ignore people. No, it's really hard. and you have to know exactly at what time to start ignoring and exactly what time to start paying attention. And
Hmm.
and I'm so happy that that guy was, as horrible as this sounds, I'm so glad that that guy was so rude to you and was an ass, because that might have just, that you just saved your eyes from an operation that very well could have completely destroyed your vision. I don't know. But
No,
I'm
I
I'm
completely
I'm
agree.
over I'm overall I'm really happy that he was such an ass, because these little backhanded compliments that we have to accept, you know, they really actually lead to helping you succeed in the future. It's kind of an evil little trick, but it's kind of true, right? So,
I agree completely with that. I mean, I'm thankful, like in the end of it, I feel like I'm actually thankful because it is like a blessing in disguise. It probably did save me from losing what vision I do have or risking it.
right,
I think
and
I just
that's
more
not
want people to
me.
know, you know.
Well, okay. I mean, guys. I mean, I think we can come to our conclusion, and I'm not trying to overly simplify. This is a very complex issue. I don't,
Hmm.
you know, but um, what I am, trying to say let's drink some coffee. Um,
Coffee,
do you
coffee would sound good
do,
right
do
now,
you
but I don't have any right now.
Oh, that's fine. You can get a drink, and we allow snacks in the studio here. But like, these are the types of things that you have to tune out. And these are the types of things that also people who make these comments are not the type of people who will learn. Okay.
Right, right.
So it's kind of pointless. There are some people who are teachable and coachable, and I will tell you that the most coachable people who are willing to listen are other podcasters. So you should keep podcasting, because
Hmm.
podcasters are kind. The vast majority are kind and are ready to help someone else. So so after you went through this experience, and the next thing that I want to transition to and highlight and celebrate and help you to promote is that you got into the business world, and you opened up a business. Why don't you tell us more about your business and how it works and how you got started?
Well, okay. Actually, I'm going to correct something there. I've actually been working in that industry for 2.5 years. I worked on that way before I even considered LASIK. I worked for, if anybody wants to know, a business called Unique. It is a makeup business. For example, let me see if I have something down here. For anybody
Oh,
who
oh,
watches
oh, wait,
that
wait,
can
wait, wait, wait,
see.
wait, please, hold on.
Huh.
Please do not show any of your, please, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Please do
Okay,
not show
no.
any products. Do not show any products.
Okay.
That's a long story. But you can tell us
No,
about it, because we
I'm
just have
glad
to
you
be.
told me.
Yeah, you got to be. So the reason, so now, listener, you would want to know why I just corrected that. The reason is you have to be careful about showing another company's trademark when you're producing a video for the public. You have to be overly care. Would they care? They probably could care less, but you have to be respectful of that. So you
Well,
can talk about it.
they don't actually, like, if it's on YouTube, they wouldn't care because of the fact that a lot of presenters do actually put videos on YouTube and Facebook. So, but I'm glad you stopped me.
Oh,
No.
no, actually, no. Well, then if you've seen other people show the product, then okay, then you can show. Now that I know, now you can show the product. Okay. So yeah, well, in fact, you can turn your cameras around if you want and actually show us the product if you want. Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got two things right here in my hands. Um, this one, if anybody can see it, it's a tube, it's like a stick, and it's just foundation. It's broken. Actually, no, wait, is this a new one? No, that's not my foundation. I'm sorry. This one is just a cleansing stick we have. Really good at like taking off your makeup and just cleansing your face. But one of my favorite products that we have that I absolutely love because I'm a big person on mascara. I'm a blind person, yes, but I love mascara. Um, Took me forever to learn how to put it on just because I have to have a certain way because I'm blind. And what I like to do is, this is weird, I will take two fingers right under my eye and I'll hold down the bottom of my lid just to apply it decently and not get like mascara everywhere. But another reason I got into working with Unique is because they strive for helping women of sexual abuse. Um, they help people of sexual abuse. There's just a bunch of benefits to it that they help with. And they even have retreats for people who have been sexually abused and, whatever else that comes with it, because they're very open to anybody just about, and they help anybody. And one of our newer things that we came out with is just this it's called Twisted Mascara. Basically, inside this tube, there are 2 brushes. I would turn my camera around, but I don't know how to, but I'll just do it this way. So you have, I don't know if you can see this, Aaron, but you have one brush right here. Okay, and then if I take my finger on the silver part here and twist the black part off, there's a smaller brush. And it's just basically made for people who want to get maybe a lower lash line done, or it helps create volume into the lashes, not just, applying a simple coat. And we are actually famous for, Aaron, you're not a makeup person, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know if you've ever heard, we were famous for the 3D fiber lashes. Basically, it was a green tea fiber that you put a gel on your lashes, you put a fiber on, and then you put like the gel on again as like a glue top coat to keep it down, But I mean, there's a lot of good. Sorry, I'm trying to find my cloth to wipe my finger off.
No, so actually, so men, when men go on TV in professional settings, actually men do wear makeup.
Oh yes.
So that,
I'm sorry.
no problem. So actually, that is great. Next, let me really see if you know. I got to make you sweat a little bit here. Let me see if you're really, if you really know your stuff. What is the word? What is the word? It's a very easy question. What is the word what does the word mascara mean?
I don't know if I can tell you what it means. I just know what it does.
Do you want to know what it means? It's very interesting.
Okay, go ahead, tell me.
You should know so you can tell people. If you were to take a wild guess, what country invented mascara and makeup?
Okay. Just from the name of mascara, I want to say Moscow. But then again, I could be completely wrong.
No, it has nothing to do with So do you want a second guess, or do you want me to tell you?
Just tell me, because I don't know if I'll get it.
Mascara is the English pronunciation, but in Arabic it's mascara, as in Mascara, Algeria. Mascara is an ancient village, an ancient city. And they invented this stuff and they didn't know what to call it. So they named it after the city where it was discovered, Mascara. So
except,
really,
like we say it differently. So,
but it's actually the name of an Algerian city. And the history is that there's been evidence of makeup and beauty products for several thousand years. And they have called that the first documentation was in Algeria many thousands of years ago. It was a village. Traders noticed something, and they noticed people were selling makeup, and they didn't know what to call it, so they said, we're in mascara, and we're going to remember mascara, and then eventually mascara.
Yeah. I do want to say my 2 favorite combos for the business, though, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the type of presenter who's going to tell you a lie about a product. If there's something from my business I do not like, I will tell you, but I'm not saying don't try it yourself, But we don't just have makeup; we have skincare and perfume.
Right. So So I guess a fair question would be, so what products do they have for men? Most of these companies do, even if they sell mostly for women, they do usually have a couple things for men. Usually.
Maybe. Well, I've actually had a guy when I first started doing makeup buy skincare from me. I don't know if he bought it for himself or for a partner, but he bought skincare. So I would say our skincare regimen could be really good for male people as well, the male population. But I mean, other than that, I don't know if we don't have cologne. We just have like perfume and rollerball perfumes. And then our makeup and in our skincare line. And our skincare line is really good. So I would say,
well, what is what is a skincare line?
We actually, there's well, I wouldn't say 2 different things to it. And sorry, I'm kind of holding my 2 favorite things right now because I'm addicted to these. It's the Twisted and our lash primer, which actually helps out. But the skincare line, we have two different ways you could go about it. You could just go on my website and look under skincare and pick whatever product you want, whether it be an exfoliating mask or whether it be a brightening mask, a detoxifying mask, which actually, give me just 1 second. I will show you. I need to grab this 1 second. Come here. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to actually grab one of my favorite masks that I like to use. This is, if you can see it, it comes in a similar kind of container as my cleansing stick I just accidentally held up. It's clear on the bottom and purple with the lid. This is an exfoliating mask. And technically this mask is just, it's just got like, it almost feels like sand in a way, sticky sand, because it's kind of got little granules in it. And when you put it on your face and you're just kind of massaging it into your skin, it's getting that dead skin off. And a guy could probably use this if they have more of a feminine, like wanting to control their skin. We have, like I said, exfoliating, detoxifying, oil control, brightening, just a bunch of things. But also we have another method that you can get skincare from us, and that's what we call our U-ology skincare. And that's really the line part. You go on there, you take a quiz about your skin, you tell it how you think your skin is feeling. Is it oily, or are you dry, or do you get redness? Are you kind of wrinkled, wanting to like work on lines, And what that does is when you're done with that quiz, it generates a night, day kind of sort of regimen for you. You get a night cream, a day cream, an oil control, whatever that you put into that that quiz about your skin. It's going to find the best products for you and put that in there, and then you can either buy it outright, because it can get a little pricey for all those products, or if you have like PayPal credit or the credit or just something, you can actually do monthly payments on your regimen to get it paid off. So I mean, we're pretty flexible. We don't just make you have to pay it right off the bat, because I'm not gonna lie, it's decent, but it can get pricey. It can, but I love it because some of these things we have are actually worth it to me, that I actually love using. The skincare, I love to use it, but just for a container of one of these masks right here is like $40. But it's worth it because I only have to do it once a week for me, and I've had this mask, I think, since August, and I still have quite a bit to go before I run out of it. So that's what I love. And our mascaras, even like this little bad boy right here, it can last me longer than a year before I need to really get a new one. But sometimes if I have a favorite product, I like to get two just to be safe, because you never know if we're going to sell out and then not get them back again. But pretty much, I mean, we do. I would say our skincare line, though, would be more for male. Unless they are like, some of my friends who are gay, they'll buy makeup, then they can buy makeup, But we don't really have a lot for male, because I've never really had a male ask me, for anything. But I could just say the skincare line. That's all I can say.
That was pretty cool. Really, really good to know. So if someone wants to learn more about your business, where would they go to find out about this?
Well, I don't know how to tell you the website. I would have to give you the link, Erin, to put in your video on YouTube or whatever if you want. I have my own website link. I don't know it by heart because it's just a very long, confusing link. But if you go to that link, you'll find just a website. We have a pre-made website. You can go look through anything. And when you check out, you'll be checking out with me. And that'll help me out, Or you can find me on Facebook. I just go by my normal Facebook page, Makayla Fettner. Or I have another page called, I think it's either Beauty Bar by Makayla, or Welcome to My Beauty Bar on Facebook. I have an actual page for it, but I don't go on live on that a lot. I mainly just go on my main profile. You can go to my YouTube, where I have a series called Welcome to My Beauty Bar. That's got just other makeups, or even sometimes these products, so. But yeah, you can mostly find when I do makeups for this business on Facebook, because they are, like you said, and they are pretty strict, but they're okay with like YouTube and Facebook. You can even post pictures on Instagram or go on there. But there are a lot of platforms they do not like. But YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they're pretty chill about. You can find unique presenters all over YouTube.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that off the air. But that is all very fine and well. So, you say that you do have a YouTube channel. So then, are you into podcasting yourself?
Um, I would love to podcast. My only thing is trying to find people to podcast with.
Well,
I
well, what
mostly
about
do.
what about Aaron Richmond from Aaron's Opinion? Do I pass your exam here, or what?
Yes, I would totally like do a podcast with you for my channel or whatnot. I mostly podcast on like Anchor, like we were gonna do, but I do want to get into like maybe the Zoom meetings and putting that
Yeah.
on YouTube, or even putting that on Apple Music or iTunes. I don't know how to do that yet, but I would love to
Well,
put a
let me
podcast on
let me just
iTunes.
let me just tell you that how long have you been podcasting on Anchor?
I don't even know. Like a lot of the podcasts I
Okay, let
had,
me
I
let me
actually
just
went and
okay.
deleted.
Well, let me just ask you this. On your current Anchor account, do you think you have uploaded successfully at least 7 episodes?
Mm, I think more of it was more like experimenting because I didn't really have
Hmm.
another
Hmm.
person to like podcast with, and I can't
Right.
just sit by myself. And I could sit by myself and podcast something or come up with an idea. It's more or less getting the listeners, capturing them in, and
Well, it's more about
I
knowing
mean
who
that.
your audience is. Once you
Mhm.
know that, then the listeners start to sneak up. That's the
Right.
trick.
And I think that's what I try to do is I try to do different topics so that I
Mm-hmm.
can find something maybe people are interested in, experimenting with the topics. But it's hard. I think it's just harder for me to get listeners. I'm not really worried
Hmm.
about the listener factor. I mean, I want to, that's just a part of experimenting and trying to find that topic that people catch on to, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so the answer is that if you're already on YouTube, you are a podcaster. That does count as podcasting. I
Hmm.
mean, we can go over more of this, and we will off the air. But basically, what you do is you take from Zoom. The reason why Zoom is so perfect is because you have two files at the end of this. I get an audio file and I get an MP4, and the MP4 I put onto my camera, and then I go to YouTube, create, and then pull it in from the camera into the YouTube, and then it spits it out into YouTube. So you kind
Hmm.
of have to do some of the mechanics. You have to pull some levers, push some buttons, but that's how that works. And then what I do is with every episode that's on my channel lately, at least all of the videos, I put the corresponding link to the anchor link so that you can have the audio in the comments. So if you just want my audio, then you just go to the comments and click with the anchor link. And then that's
Right.
how you attract people, because you get the two groups of people. You get the YouTube tends to be a larger number of people who watch the views are more spread out, whereas
Hmm.
Anchor, you tend to have a couple people that aggressively watch everything once or twice. So
Exactly.
the consumption of the content is different on each side. I find that people want to see me. They want to see my voice. They want to see what I look like when I'm talking, because people are fascinated with my voice and the way I deliver my speech, the way I'm able to communicate. So they want to see
Hmm.
like what I look like when I'm talking, and I get that. So that's really where you can go. But you can absolutely get into podcasting very easily, um, and your podcast will soon be on iTunes later. If you give me the name of your well, actually, I can go to your Anchor profile and try to figure out if you're on iTunes or not. But um, Is that where's that shadow coming from now? We got a shadow on the.
Oh, well that I'm right in front
Uh,
of my light, but I don't know where the
I don't
shadow is
know. Now there's a
coming from.
mysterious shadow that has hovered onto your. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
that.
I know what it is. It's
Okay,
the phone. I'm holding my
okay.
phone because I had to put it on the charger.
Okay. There we go. There we go. All right.
I
Well,
can hold it a
yes.
little lower.
Yeah, yeah. It just caught me off guard for a second. Well,
Ah.
anyway, all of this has been wonderful for you, and of course, well, okay. Let me just come up with a couple more questions here.
Well,
So,
now you
oh
as a
yeah, yeah, sure, sure,
podcaster,
sure.
do you know if it's possible
Well,
to
I'm a very,
do?
I take podcasting very seriously. I love connecting with Rob. I've been doing this for over a year. So probably
Me.
I'm an honest podcaster. So if I know, I'll give you
Mhm.
the facts. If not, I can almost certainly tell you someone in my group has the information. But yes, what's the
Well,
question?
do you know if like how we're doing our Zoom call and
Right,
everything, and you're on a computer, I'm on a phone.
right.
Do you know if a phone user like me
Yeah.
can do a Zoom interview and just create that podcast all through the phone? Because I don't
Sure.
do computers. I
The
don't do
the
computers.
answer, here's the answer.
Because I know you get those two files. So,
If you do it over the phone, I don't know where the files go. That's the trick. They pop up on this screen afterwards. You have to practice with the software. The files
uh-huh.
pop up after the fact, and then you have to email them. So then I have to email the files back to myself. Then I have to open
Hmm.
the files, and then from there I'm able to manipulate the files into an audio side that you guys hear on iTunes or the
Hmm.
YouTube that you're watching now. Right.
Right. Now, with you being like the, I guess you'd say podcast host right now for Zoom,
Right.
would you be the only one getting those two files, or would the actual recipient too be getting a copy? Or how does that work for Zoom?
No, the only person. No, the only person. No, the only person who gets the files at the end is me. It doesn't.
Ah, okay.
It does.
Okay.
It
So it's like
wouldn't.
the host that does it,
Yeah.
that
It,
gets it.
no, the software doesn't. Well, I take that back. Is there probably some weird way to get the host to have some sort of a collaboration thing where it sends out the files to the team? Probably there is. But obviously, I don't. I don't pay for Zoom. This is all free. I'm on the
Yeah.
free plan.
Yeah.
Zoom. Okay, that's a Zoom question. Okay, that would be for someone who uses Zoom professionally and they buy a membership and they know all the features. That
Well,
strikes
I
me as
just
something
was.
that they would give to someone who is using Zoom for business or has some sort of a team meetings. Um,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
no, I was
yeah,
just curious, like if both recipients get that copy, if it was just like the host that's hosting the meeting, whatever,
right.
that's
Now, I
just what
mean,
I was curious
in the
of.
past, now the other thing is when I do a collaboration with other YouTubers, what I've done is I've actually hosted the meeting and then I email you the video and the audio after the fact. So I can pass
Ah,
the
okay.
files to you afterwards, but I don't know if there's any particular way of me setting it up. Um,
Yeah,
and
no,
and
I
and if and,
understand.
and if there is, I would probably manage to unplug the account that I have. Something something would manage to get discombobulated with that. But it is an interesting concept. There is
Right.
so when you come say hello in the WhatsApp group and introduce yourself, you'll learn that there are many great people who are very extraordinarily knowledgeable. And who have worked professionally in this field who would be able to answer those very questions about how do I do this? How do there are people who can tell you in great detail exactly everything that you would want to know about this. Yes, sure.
Right, right. No, I was just curious, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm new
no
to the whole
worries.
Zoom thing, so learning is just one thing I
Oh,
do,
me
I
too.
guess.
Me too. Me too. Well, Zoom really is the best for podcasting, and the audio has improved a lot, and the software has gotten a lot better every year. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I can tell. I
Yep.
can tell.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Zoom used to be much more. Well, Zoom used to be oriented just for businesses, and then it drifted, and then podcasters found out about it, and then I started to get interested and got into it more and more. Really,
Hmm.
the more that I've done this, the more that it's the more content that I've produced for you as the listener, the more I'm interested in this hobby of content creation and creating a global network and stuff like that. So the more you do it, it gets
Right.
more interesting. Hmm.
Right. I mean, that's just like my cover channel, because I have another YouTube channel where I do song covers. You know, when I get that feedback from people and just
Why
really
did you just
strive to
wait a
do
minute?
more.
Stop. Actually, well, no, don't sing it. But what are some of your favorite songs?
um, Actually, a recent one that I just covered because I had a friend pass away October
Oh,
22nd in a really, I wouldn't call it bad car accident, but just a car accident. And at his funeral, they played this one song. It's called Jealous of the Angels. And I got so addicted into that song, I learned it and did a cover not too recently, actually. Um, I did a cover. It's on both of my actual channels. It's on my cover one and it's on my actual just YouTube. But that song, or I don't know. This kind of a sad, well, not really sad song, but another song by a singer called, I think it's Dixie D'Amelio. It's called Be Happy. Um, just kind of like one of those songs that, like, if you're not in the, happy mood or something, just don't blame the person. Don't judge them. Let them be and just let them get over it. Just can't just expect somebody to cheer up and smile because they're upset and you want to cheer them up. They got to kind of get back to that themselves, I guess,
right,
is what
right.
I see that as.
Sure. Well, that's interesting. And I meant to ask you what are some of your other hobbies when you're not producing videos or doing things like that?
Of course, makeup,
Right.
song covers. I love coloring Mandela pictures. I actually, if I knew how to flip my camera, let me see if I can flip it, because I don't know how to flip on here. I have, actually, I'm going to try to actually do this weirdly with front facing. Over here on my wall, I have these Mandela pictures. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Let me do this so I can see. Yeah, I've got these Mandela pictures stuck to my wall, and these are
Okay.
all ones that I have
Now, and this
colored.
is so good for sighted people who are watching on YouTube. So please go back to it if you want. Please go back. Can
Okay,
you here show?
let me see if I can flip my camera, because I want to try to flip it, because it's hard to actually maintain my camera with. Oh, actually, that'll work. I made my camera bigger. Okay, I can see me now. Um,
So what do we have here? Oh, that's interesting. Try to describe it. So if you
okay,
try to describe it to people. Hmm.
this first one is sort of rounded and it has little kind of spikes around the edge, and it's
Okay.
blue.
Yeah.
And actually, as a blind person, I find this like really crazy that I do this, but I colored this with different shades of blue and purple, or just blue.
Wow.
Because I was trying to go for a rainbow theme. I was doing different colors for each one. Like this one here, this one's all green, different shades of green, and maybe some yellow, but more or less green. And it's got the same shape. They almost all have the same shape to them, except this one has almost more like rose petal tips on the end. And
Exactly.
then this one is,
Oh,
uh,
wow. Yeah. Go back.
I want to say this was my first Mandela drawing that
Now,
I
are you
did.
now are you saying that you're the one who's giving it the color and
Yes,
drawing that?
I colored that in. I didn't draw it.
Wow.
This this was this was actually from, oh, my camera cut off. 1 second. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, this was actually from a coloring book that you can get. It's an adult color, like adult Mandela coloring book. And
Right.
the one thing I love about it, and all you blind and visually impaired individuals will love it too, the background. It's black. It's not white. I can actually see the picture and draw what I need to draw, because I have this backing that is black, and I don't have to worry about going outside the lines a little because it's black. And
Huh.
that's what I found to be really, really
Yeah,
easy.
really excellent. Really, here, let's go down one. Oh, wow. Oh,
This
that's
one,
cool.
this one's different shaped. It's more or less almost like a
Yeah.
puzzle piece sort of look, but it's made with shades of blue, purple, red.
And what is it colored in with? Is it like paint or is it
These are actually markers. They are markers. A friend of mine actually gave me the Mandela coloring book,
right?
and gave me like a whole I hate this right now. I'm sorry. Um, he gave me a whole bag of markers,
I
and
see.
there's over 100 in there. And sometimes I just like doing, you know, same color theme. Now I do have two more. There's one
Sure.
right
Oh,
here.
yes.
This one is one of my favorites. Really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, let me see if this is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, this one, me, my mom, and sister actually all colored in together.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have, I'm going to show you one of my favorite ones. It's not actually put up on the wall yet. I can't really thumbtack anything to the wall. I have to put like sticky tack.
Right.
So here's another favorite. This
Right.
is like an all pink. This is an all pink color. My grandma actually loves that one. And then I do have, I'm sorry, an orange one. This one
Right.
I really like too. These are just, they got better as I started doing them more. But and then actually, I'm blind, but I also know how to laminate pictures. So I have a whole bunch of lamination sheets. Because if you look on my desk where y'all were sitting, I have a small little cheap laminator right here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I've taught myself kind of how to do it so I can hook them up to the, hook them on the wall and actually show people what I do, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But that's just another thing. A long time ago, I actually painted a realistic looking rose. I wish I had that picture, but I don't have it anymore. But
Well, I'm incredibly impressed with everything. I'm incredibly impressed with um whoops. I'm incredibly impressed with
oh yeah, your camera went off. I don't know how that happened.
because I turned it off.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
right.
Sorry.
No problem. So well, I mean, look, I'm incredibly impressed with the way you've handled yourself in this episode. Really, really well done, going over all of the different experiences that you have had. And then the artwork, that's such a good hobby. Find a hobby out there, guys. For Makayla, it's art and podcasting, but find a hobby, no matter what it is. If it's a good hobby, it's really important, I think. So,
Mm-hmm.
we believe it or not, we actually have been recording for over just around an hour. So this is towards the end of the show where I like to wrap it up by saying, so I'm going to give you a great opportunity. If you could ask me one question to really put me on the spot, what is the question that you want to ask? Mm-hmm.
Okay. How? Okay, let's see. I've never really been asked that question. So, and just just starting to talk to you too, it's kind of like I gotta think. Really, really think about it. Um. Okay, I think I know one. If you weren't so passionate and into podcasting, what do you think you would do in place of that?
I don't know because podcasting, with the exception of my teaching job, podcasting is one of the best is like the best thing that ever happened to me because I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to share my message with the world and really connect with people overseas, have a full global community
Mm-hmm.
that's ready to serve people and ready to do the right thing.
Awesome.
Right?
I was just curious. That's one question I like to ask people a lot. Like if because it amazes me how you do it and everything. But like, I
Right.
almost think, what would you do if you weren't doing it? Would you do something different? Would you,
Well,
where would you be?
probably a lot of it has to do with the lifestyle now that we're living here in the States for obvious reasons. I think it's given me a lot of time to focus on my work, focus on my career, focus on my podcasting, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Well, that's
All right.
awesome. That's awesome.
Well, thanks so much. Well, of
Mm-hmm.
course, we're coming to the end. Let me end the episode here, but don't hang up. So
Okay.
everybody, that was Makayla Fettner. She did a great job. Turns out, you start interviewing someone about the experiences they have, and then they take you through a walk through their art museum. So I greatly appreciate your interest in art, and that's so beneficial for you. That's so good.
Oh,
And thanks for educating people about your experience in negotiating and in the experience of LASIK and all of that. It's a really important conversation that is very controversial. Other podcasters have covered it. But you did a magnificent job. As I said, if you want to
well, I'm
contribute,
sorry it wasn't real long, like
it
I
didn't
couldn't
it
really
didn't
rant
need
too much, but
it didn't need to be. It needed to educate people, and it needed to make people aware of the situation. And I think people now are a lot more aware of the situation now because of this video. So I thank you for that. As I said, if you want to get in touch with me, if you really want to be on the show, two ways to do it. As I said, you should really text your full name so that I know who I'm talking to 1-240-681-9869. Oh, or of course, Aaron's Opinion 6@gmail.com. Consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. I would appreciate the support. Your support will certainly go to help blind people all over the world. I promise. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and don't forget to comment below and leave your questions below on this video. We have a very special way that we like to end every episode by me telling you guys that I wish you all very good health all over the world. Um, and keep listening to podcasts. And we have a special saying right here on this show. Thanks so much, Makayla. And as we say, help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow.